I have been doing custody for over 32 years. In the beginning, fathers had basic time, such as every other weekend, maybe one evening during the week. But now, 32 years later, mom and dad pretty much come to the court having equal time presumed. That is a 50-50 split of the time with the children, which is wonderful progress. When a custody complaint is filed in Westmoreland County, you can ask for primary, physical, or partial physical custody. You can ask for sole legal custody or shared legal custody. It depends on what would be in the best interests of the child. That is the standard that the court uses to determine how they will apportion the custody between the parents. In Westmoreland County, it starts with a conciliation conference, which is like a mediation conference to see if the parties can agree on an order. If they cannot, an order will be entered, but parties have a right to appeal that. In Allegheny County, for instance, there is a mediation that is held just between the parties. No attorneys are involved, again to see if the parties can come to some agreement. Shared physical custody is where the parties make joint decisions regarding the children's health, education, religion. Any of their major needs in their life should be made jointly, and the parties have the obligation to share that information with the other in terms of doctor's appointments, if the child gets injured, has to go to the emergency room, or if they're having problems at school, maybe with their math and they need a tutor. These are things that the parties should be able to discuss and co-parent together. Sometimes parties cannot communicate very well, and there is a system called Our Family Wizard, which is a very wonderful way to communicate between parents. Everything is done via email, so therefore it's documented. The judge can actually see that if she chooses to access it at one of the hearings. She can see how the parties are responding to each other. And often this prevents a lot of very hot rhetoric between mom and dad. It's about a $10 charge per month for this service, but if you have financial difficulties, there are scholarships available and you may be able to get onto that for free. Many times it is ordered by the court, but parties could also voluntarily agree to sign up for Our Family Wizard. It has really created a very neutral way to have the parties communicate and to have their attorneys and the judge see what information is being shared and how it's being shared between the parties. Social media has caused some real issues for us when we deal with custody. You have to be very careful if you are anticipating going through this process of posting things on Facebook or TikTok or Instagram. All of this can be recovered, and it can really put you in a bad light as a parent, and certainly you don't want to expose your child to all the nefarious predators that may be out there. So be very careful what you post and where it's being transmitted. Also, social media is often a place that people fight their custody battle. That is not appropriate either, and very tough on the children, because at some point they're going to see that awful rhetoric that you've posted about their father or their mother. It's not going to win you any more time with your children if you continue to do that. Also, it's been a great tool for us to use because sometimes we see people partying, maybe smoking marijuana, or doing things that they shouldn't be doing on camera. Custody is always modifiable until a child reaches 18. But for those of you that have children, you know that these children have very strong opinions at a very young age. Certainly, you never want to be accused of alienating your child from the love and care of the other parent. So you have to be careful how you promote that relationship with the other party. You never want to put the child in the middle, but you also want them to be able to express how they feel. If you think that it's not a good situation, that they're having some negative effects from the custody agreement, make sure you get them into counseling. Get them some help that they need to be able to ventilate how they feel, and get some professional help to deal with the custody issues that they may bring to the attention of their psychologist or psychiatrist, whoever they may be seeing. You also may think that once they get a certain age, that the child can tell the court what they want or who they want to spend the most time with. And there is no magic age. Obviously, when a child is 16, 17, you aren't going to force them to do much of anything. The standard is, the older the child is, the greater credibility or weight the court will place on that child's preference. But there's no magic age. Custody agreements can be done through a consent, but then we get the court to sign it, the judge to sign the order, so that you have something enforceable, which many times schools, daycares want to see. If you cannot agree, as I said, you start out in Westmoreland County, or as in the other counties as well, with sort of a mediation or conciliation. Then it usually goes to a pretrial where you are in front of a judge, and many times most judges will try to see if they can effectuate a settlement between the parties. If nothing can be reached, then a trial is scheduled. Also, you cannot just move a child out of the area without consent of the other parent. So if you want to relocate and you don't have consent, you do have to go to court to have a trial on the matter. And believe me, relocation is not an easy remedy to get for yourself, because the requirements are very strict. You can't just want to move just because you'd like to be in sunny Florida. That's not going to work. It has to be a really compelling reason to take that child away from the other parent and possibly other family members and their school and their church or whatever they're doing here. So that really needs to have an attorney consulted when you want to relocate to another area. It may not even be out of state, but if it's far enough away or school districts are changed, the courts will have to look into that if the parties cannot agree. I'm here to help you with custody. I do some pro bono work on custody cases when the need is fantastic for the parties, where they have no means to seek this help. So please give me a call. I'm very happy to help you with your custody needs. Our children are so important, and they should really have the benefit of the best that we can do for them. We have their best interests in mind at all times, and that is why an attorney, I feel, is critical to helping you get through these issues with your children. Thank you.